into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Sing along, guys.
Taking this one to the grave.
Our weekly sing-along is what I'm gonna miss most.
Exactly.
Like, on the hiatus.
We all gotta look at Hannah.
The secret is one of them is dead.
Did I do it right?
Yeah.
Do I do this?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes. You guys, that was amazing. We got
job.
it just right. Well, hello, AfterBuzzers. We're here doing another Pretty Little Liars after show for you all. Of course, it is season 5, and this episode is called I'm a Good Girl I Am. And we are streaming live on YouTube tonight, and you can always find AfterBuzz on YouTube at youtube.com/AfterBuzz TV. And we also are on SoundCloud and iTunes, so go on, rate, comment, let us know what you're thinking, and all these theories and crazy things happening on the show. When do you ever have a show where your lead characters are all in jail?
Oh my gosh,
What?
my mind is blown.
So crazy.
Well, Orange is the New Black.
That is true.
To answer your question.
Very valid, very good point. But we'll get into all of that in a second here. Of course, we want to hear from you, so go on Twitter, use the hashtag ABTVPLL. What am I doing tonight? It's all good. And I'm Stephanie Wenger, and you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger.
Hey guys, I'm Kristin Strange, and you can find me on Twitter at Kristin Strange.
Hey y'all, I'm Hannah Prichard, and you can find me on Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
Hey guys, I'm Heather Joy Smith, and you can find me on Twitter at Heather Joy Smith.
All right, so let's jump into this. I want to start with the trial and the verdict that causes everything to kind of explode on the show tonight. So the trial, of course, to figure out, guess if Allie is, of course,
Guilty. Or innocent.
guilty. Yeah.
That's how trials usually.
Yeah, exactly. Very true. You can throw me under the bus. That's exactly what happened tonight as to her, exactly, to Allie. So she is, of course, found guilty. I liked that the lawyer, though, used I thought it was really smart to go after that she couldn't have possibly done this with the elbow. I thought that kind of came out of left field, but I really appreciated that. That's like a smart lawyer, because we talk about all the time how the law enforcement is not always the best, and I thought this lawyer kind of turned it around and was like, wait, she actually is using her smarts.
She's throwing like such a girl, like...
Right?
I was wondering where that was going.
Me too.
I'm like, what does this have to do with anything?
Especially with the grapefruit. I was like, why not use an actual ball?
Like, maybe like a weight ball, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
something that's like 10 pounds at least. I mean, Mona was not a pound.
No.
She's tiny,
but not a pound.
tiny.
Yeah, I was interested to kind of see how that played out. And I was surprised that even if she somehow faked getting that certificate, why would you not say that in court?
Yeah.
Right? That didn't
Because
make
I
sense to
think
me.
she was like, well, that just makes it worse because then it shows that I lie.
But she was 11.
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's a big difference between a summer camp fib
Yeah.
and killing
Exactly.
someone. Like,
Yeah.
there's a large discrepancy in what you're talking about there, especially when you're so young.
Mm-hmm.
But it did also bring up this idea of she knows how to do archery.
Mm-hmm.
And who else knows how to do archery?
A.
I want to know who her bunkmate
Andrew.
was.
I was going to say...
Andrew, because he was a scout.
Yes, that was something that I picked up. Yeah, because
Andrew was on my sketch list this week.
I know, and I get that, but that's stupid. They're trying to make it too obvious that it's
Yeah.
Andrew, so it can't be Andrew. Like,
Yeah.
it can't be an
He's
obvious.
probably involved somehow. But
Probably,
like, I
or
will be mad if
not.
the only thing that we get is Andrew, because it's like you just brought him back for like 3 episodes and now you're gonna shove him in our face as A.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
That like would only prove that they don't know who A is either. You know what I mean? I still am standing by Caleb. He acted like such a douche the whole episode. Like, I
What
can't get away
was
from that.
up with him tonight?
Right? Everything he did or said, I was like, dude, Caleb, sit down.
You know what's so crazy is I was on Twitter for the East Coast feed for a bit and saw everyone I know in our group, we were all talking about like, oh, he's terrible. Like, why is he acting this way? Everyone was like, he's such a perfect boyfriend. Like, boyfriend goals.
And that is why he is A. And that is why he is A.
Yeah. Like, literally everybody was hashtagging like, Caleb, boyfriend goals. And I was so surprised because my immediate reaction was like, he's overstepping his bounds. He's being that controlling guy that I don't think anyone wants to be with, but apparently
Twitter does.
I am very wrong, and Twitter did want to be with him.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
And clearly he has a partner in crime, obviously, because of the arrow things.
Yeah.
And then it threw me for a loop because Toby was clearly with Spencer while he was chased down by those arrows or whatever.
Well, I think we can get on board with the fact that A is a team.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I still think it's, I don't know why, but I still think it's both of them. Plus, well, I'm getting way ahead of myself.
Yeah, but were you talking about Toby and Spencer?
Well, no, I was going to say something about the preview. Okay. But go and do you.
Okay, that was weird. Like, I would never choose the cops instead of you, and so I'm going to tell Tanner I choose you. And then, like, you're talking about the awkward long kiss. That was weird.
It was.
It was so awkward.
I get it. It was like very passionate. I'm like, oh, okay, now I want a boyfriend, but I
was like, too much right now.
It was that like 3 seconds too long situation where you were like, oh, they're really
too much.
Yeah, it was interesting, I guess, in that way. Because I always hate when that happens. You're like, oh, I just want to turn away. Yeah. This feels weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I'm still rooting for Team Johnny. I'm like, okay, I'm over you, Joey. I get that this is a hot moment, but like,
I feel like you're squarely in Team Johnny. He could turn out to be A, and you would still be like, I'm Team Johnny.
I absolutely exactly. She's like, I still want Johnny as my boyfriend.
Amazing. So, but like, I just literally, he could do anything, and you'd be like, yep.
Yep.
It's like he murdered
cool.
Mona. I don't even care.
I don't care. Team Johnny, all the way. You stole the show, man. You stole the show.
Yeah. Do you think that all these girls, they end up after Allie's convicted of the murder, they end up all being taken in and like processed into the system and in jail? Do you think they're gonna stay in jail? Or
I wanted a little more information.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted a little bit like, you're under arrest for being accessories to a crime. First of all, you probably shouldn't have been there if you thought she was
exactly.
That was dumb.
I mean, does that actually happen in real life, that people get arrested in a courtroom after somebody else has been charged with a crime?
I feel like it doesn't. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I feel like it doesn't.
I think you can be charged with something. I think that was a very fast process of like from courtroom to jail. I think that
they've probably been building the case for that.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's just because they were there. If they wouldn't have been there, I feel like the people that weren't in that courtroom, they would have gone and arrested them after her being found guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And I'm actually kind of down to see them all in jail.
Oh my God.
Like, now they've all been in jail. And there's got to be one of them that's not 18. Like, you would have thought between all of them, one of them wouldn't
be.
They
all had early birthdays.
Right? I was 17 when I graduated high school, and when I started college.
Me too.
Like, someone has to be.
Yeah,
that's what I
was like 2 weeks into college, still 17.
Yes, I know. I was 17 for a while. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's so true. They don't deal with that they're all barely 18.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have to assume that they're all barely 18. I don't think we see their birthdays a lot on the show.
Yeah, no one's birthday.
Yeah, so
they kind of gloss over that because they want to keep this
They don't want us to age
forever.
them.
They're the same age over and
and
over
they've
and
done
over
a good
again.
job of that.
Yeah.
Well, like 6, however many seasons, and they've maybe aged like
2
3 years.
They
2 or
got
3
2
years.
years. They were juniors, right?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy. But do you think Toby will get Spencer out first? This was like, I feel like he's gonna try.
I think he's lost his privileges because he seemed like he was like allowing.
He's now on coffee duty.
We'll get out last because she's already been in jail before. Mm-hmm. So I feel like
I kind of feel like Toby's gonna be shady with the situation.
Because he knows too much.
Yeah, and I don't think he's genuine enough in their relationship.
Me neither.
So I think he's gonna let her sit in there a little while.
Yeah.
Just to make her miss him.
Mm-hmm.
worst.
Like, you kiss those other guys, sit in jail.
Yeah.
Sit in jail.
So awful. That is definitely, the punishment does not fit the crime.
Well, it seems like Spencer goes a little crazy or something. In the previews, like, she was in her orange jumpsuit, but she wasn't
bedroom.
in jail. Like,
That was
I'm like,
weird.
are we having like a Radley moment and like she's losing it?
I took that, the only way I could imagine that is that it was some sort of dream.
Yeah. Or
Right.
like a flashback of some sort or.
Yeah. Also, I have the best idea in terms of seeing these girls with the arrows and summer camp and all of that. I want a Pretty Little Liars special in the summer for like
Right?
summer camp, like a flashback to all of them with the arrows.
Lord knows we'll use that cabin again. Somewhere in my life. That cabin cannot be used anymore. Every time that they are not in Rosewood, I'm like, oh, there's the cabin. Oh,
It's
cabin again.
they find unique ways of shooting that forest.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
Let's be
right.
honest.
They do.
Yeah, because you know it's the same forest and they are just looping around it. But good for them for being creative. And so I do want to talk about that. It's a great transition
To the forest.
Yeah, to Mike's brutal attack in the
Poor
forest.
Mike, his like face was all bloody and bruised. And
Yeah,
he
the
was all
makeup looked good on
sweat.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
I want to give us a little pat on the back. From last week, we all said that Mike was going down, and he
did.
went down quickly tonight. Of course, he was debating whether he should take the stand and in the trial and, say what he knew about Mona. And I love that Ezra steps in and tries to get him not to, and then you have Caleb. It's kind of like good and evil
But it was
playing.
like Ezra like wanted him to, because he goes, "Here's the car keys. Go get the bags out of the car." Yeah, Ezra, that's what's gonna happen.
I don't know if anyone else was just waiting for the engine to turn
Yeah,
off.
I was like-
that was the only sound I was looking for in that
He
entire
just
scene.
told you he wants to go testify, and you're trying to convince him out of it, and you give him car keys.
Yeah.
Where does that sound like a good, solid plan to you? Come on, Ezra.
So
Don't think it through.
no, it's so true. It's crazy to think that that's what you would do. Like you would
You're
take.
supposed to be the smart one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's supposed to be the mature
Right?
adult. I know that like
He's
that's
got, like-
weird when he's with Arya, but like he is
He
an
is.
adult. Like
Yeah.
he should, and also their teacher. I mean, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if he was ever Mike's teacher specifically. I don't
No.
recall.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but definitely was around school. Even if
Yeah.
you didn't have the teacher, you probably saw him.
You call him like Mr.
Fitz.
Fitz,
Yeah.
right?
Mr. Ezra.
Yeah. So I don't know. To me, it was just one of those things where I wanted him to kind of be stronger in almost taking. I don't want to say the parent role because that's so
But
weird.
like the adult leader, mature role.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the teacher role.
He should have.
Do you have a? Are you,
No.
I thought you
got
were
nothing.
totally gonna disagree
Nope,
with
I was
me.
totally just agreeing, just sitting over here like, yep, guys, that's good. Sounds good to me. What? No.
I agree too.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you're kind of like, oh, why is he not stronger? And Caleb comes in there and is just
Like a douche. I'm sorry, I keep having to call him that. He acts like a big old douche in this episode.
He was
did.
so creepy calling
He's
Ezra
so
Ezra
creepy.
though. Like
The
I
whole
thought that was
face
weird.
was
yeah, well
creepy on him.
he was creepy in the whole part, and then he was like Ezra, and I was like, Mr. Fitz to you, Caleb.
He just had his panties
Mr.
in a
Fitz.
bunch the whole time. Like
I
every
feel like
conversation, I was like, step
This
down,
is where
bro.
Caleb thinks he is. Caleb, everyone else.
Exactly.
It's like me and Hannah rule the world. We're gonna.
Yep.
That's
We're
exactly
looking
what it
upon
is.
the rest of you. I don't care what happens in your lives as long as mine. It's good.
I mean, that's kind of true. What I want to know from all of our Twitter followers out there, though, is Caleb being protective? Like, we obviously on this panel think he's being a little too protective. But is he just being protective and the good boyfriend? A boyfriend goal, as I so like to call it? Or is he overstepping the bounds and, getting too involved in Hannah's case? So that is the question that I want you to use. Use the hashtag ABTVPLL, and we will definitely check in on that. And we're excited to see what you're thinking about that. Because I feel like on our panel, we're all kind of on the same page, like overprotective. But I also have to say, like, we're all not in high school anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe there's like a different perspective.
Yeah.
Or
And
like
I just-
maybe we all have the same taste in men, and some women like that. I mean, I know that me and Hannah have the same taste in men, so I don't
We've
know.
talked about it.
Except for I'm not into Johnny, so like we'll take that one.
That's where you guys
That's
separate.
very separate.
Found the line. All right. So who do we think actually attacked Mike? Is it
A.
Yeah.
well? Thank you. Yes, A. But I want to know. I guess it's the same question we always have, which is
Like, who was that person? I think
Yeah.
that person was Andrew.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I-
going with
Because,
Andrew on that one too.
like, then, I mean, okay, it maybe was a little too obvious. Like, yeah, I was a scout. Like, I
Yeah.
could shoot arrows, but I don't know.
And it's just kind of too coincidental that Ari was trying to get a hold of him the whole night. He wasn't picking up his phone, but yet, you know, he's the first one to be like, well, you didn't pick up your phone, kind of thing. Like, if you're going to get on her about that, then you better pick up your phone if she's going
And
to call
he was
you then.
spending all night working on, like, a yearbook paper. That was a one page.
Yeah, please.
You're a smart guy, Andrew.
I agree with you. Andrew is definitely a suspect to me.
Alibi doesn't add up to me.
I do wonder though if there's kind of two separate attacks going on. One on Andrew actually being like tied up as he was, and the other one because he was in Ezra's car.
Yeah.
And so was Andrew going after Ezra with the bow and arrow, and then we only see the arrows going after Ezra. Like I believe Mike didn't have any like.
Yeah. That's a little serious though. Like I'm dating your
Yeah, that's
ex-girlfriend.
intense.
Let me shoot you with a bow and arrow.
I don't know. Andrew seems a little crazy.
That's true.
I
But
mean,
that's why I don't want them to do that. I feel like we all liked Andrew when they first,
Well, 'cause
presented
he's
him with
super
Arya.
sweet, and
Yeah.
he's, like,
But they want
charming
They want
looking.
Arya and Ezra to be together.
Well,
in
and
the
they
end, so
will.
gotta get
There's
there.
no doubt of that. But I'm like, can we just leave Andrew alone? Like, do we have to bring in a new person and be like, well, maybe A? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
We
We have enough suspects right now. I don't need anyone else to consider.
I just wonder if Andrew, he's obviously not, I'm going to say Master A or Uber A. By the way, actually, I have to find the tweet, but we had the most amazing tweet this week about an explanation of why Uber A could relate, like how Uber is a German word, and how it all goes back to the German descent and who has German descent, and the person looked up all the last names and figured out who that would be. So I know I retweeted it, so go to my Twitter and you will find it there.
I wish I had my phone
Man,
right
know.
now.
I
so
didn't
could
see
look at
that.
it.
Yes.
I mean, it was crazy. I will have to pull it up as we're going through our show and give a shout out to this person because it was incredible. On Tumblr, yeah.
People are impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It blew my mind.
really went through in so much detail and convinced me. So, I mean, impressive. But I do want to talk about Uber A or Master A. Probably not Andrew.
No. He
No.
does look German though, but no.
I wonder if it's like, if it's gonna be he's working for the Uber A, or
Yeah.
if he is a kind of, again, that separate attack, like he's after Ezra. It's not really about the A situation,
Yeah.
and that Mike has the A.
That's like a little, like, I don't know. Like, Arya needs to dump him if it's just the Ezra. I mean, either way,
Yeah.
I guess she needs to
Yeah.
dump him, but if it's
Or maybe
just
he's not
Ezra-
involved at all. I feel
Yeah.
like he's not involved at all. I feel like
That's-
we're trying.
yeah.
They're planting him too much as being involved that he's not.
Yeah.
A
You know what I mean?
A little too obvious.
Yeah.
That's fair. I
Yeah,
think
that
so
is
too.
fair.
Thanks, guys.
Maybe he just really likes her. Like, a lot.
But he's being really creepy
he
still.
is being
He
weird.
doesn't
I
know
agree.
how to have a girlfriend. Maybe
He
she's
doesn't.
his
But
first
he's so
crush.
socially awkward is what he is.
But I feel like that's like the directors and everybody being like, okay, so we want you to kind of like play it on the line. So if we want, we can push you that way. And if we don't want you to be A, we can push you the other way. We want to
Like
have
they
the option.
Yeah, they haven't made up their mind
Yeah,
yet.
we want to have the option of which way to go.
I mean, it's a little bit playing that card right
Yeah.
now, I have to say. But let's talk about Andrew's jealousy back with Arya. That was like straight up crazy.
Yeah.
Wait,
We're
what?
like, yes.
Wait, what? His jealousy with
With Arya was straight up like
Oh, when
nuts. Like when she was like, "Oh, I went to Ezra instead of you."
about Mike leaving, about taking Mike.
Yeah.
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 She was with Ezra for a really long time.
I mean, they have a level of trust that I don't think you could have
after 2 weeks.
Exactly. And he's like, you know, he's trying to throw out that, well, I told you I was available 24/7. It's like, it's not the same. Like,
it's not like if I start dating someone now, I'm going to be like, in a week, like, oh my gosh, I have to go to the hospital in the middle of the night. Like, I'm not going to call you.
Exactly.
That's awkward.
No. That's like just a level of having like insecurities because she's dated that guy for so long, which is like understandable, but still cool your old man.
And he's like older and
he has that relationship with Mike. They already know each other. This has been going on for a long time.
It's true. Like I feel like she would. I think you navigate towards old friends or like people that you really trust at that point. And so she would go to him, but it was super sketchy when he wasn't available when she finally did call him. Mm-hmm. Where was he with a bow and arrow?
Oh,
he was working on his yearbook page.
I mean,
his excuse.
I like that you said that. Like that is absolutely the truth. There's no doubt in my mind.
No doubt. That
Did
is
you
true.
guys miss that part?
Yeah.
They explained
that's what he said. Duh.
Duh. He totally was.
So amazing. And I just found the tweet about the German descent, and it's from Allegra C, and I just want to give her
I did see that.
A major shout out because it is an incredibly detailed theory. I don't know if she actually came up with it or not, but thank you so much for sharing it with us.
It was incredible.
Yeah. And let's jump into a big announcement that we have for you all. Yay! I know we've been teasing it for so long, so thank you for being patient with us. And, you know, we are, of course, streaming live next week for the finale at the YouTube Space LA. We were all there over the weekend getting ready for this super exciting event.
It's a really cool space.
I mean, it's an incredible just facility that you can create all kinds of content at. But that's not the most important part of our announcement. We loved being there, though. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And the important part is that we're going to have a panel of guests from the show come and hang out with us. And, you know, we're going to have a friend of AfterBuzz, Brandon Robinson, who's phenomenal and so great to us and has been here a few times already.
And a lot of people think that Lucas could be A, so maybe he could offer us some insight on that.
So exciting. And then we're having Leslie, who, of course, plays Spencer's mom. And yeah, I mean, so exciting to have her, and she can give us kind of that lawyer perspective and what's going on with all the legal proceedings on Pretty Little Liars.
And the sketchy part of the Hastings family.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Roma, who plays Officer
Detective Tanner.
Detective Tanner. I always want to call it Officer Tanner. Detective
She
Tanner.
graduated from officer to detective.
Roma, and she's phenomenal as well. And we're so excited to have these three guests, and we're adding more literally as we speak here, so we're still working on it, and we will have those announcements for you on Twitter and probably next week live on the show. Some surprises as well, so please tune into that and let all your friends who are Pretty Little Liars fans know, and be sure to check out all of our social media this week because we'll be tweeting up a storm about it.
Yeah, if you guys are in LA and you guys want to attend, we are going to pick a few people from whoever emails us. So you can email us at abtvpllhosts@gmail.com and just say you want to attend and who you want to come with. And then probably this Friday we're going to pick just a handful of people from whoever emails us. So if you're one of the lucky ones, we'll email you back and give you all the details.
Yes, and we should also mention, super important, that we will be airing at an earlier time next week. We will be following the East Coast feed of the show, which airs our time at 5 p.m., but it's still 8 p.m. East Coast, and so we'll be airing 6 p.m. on the West Coast and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. So be sure to watch us live and tweet your questions too. We will, if you have any questions all week or during the show, tweet at us and we will be sure to ask.
Yep.
Yes.
Many as we can, definitely. So let's get back to this week's episode and talk about Spencer and Emily's search through the, I call it a forest park. I don't know.
Playground.
Yeah.
It's a playground.
I think it's a park.
Okay.
Playgrounds are inside parks.
True statement.
Yeah.
fine.
I just want everything to happen in a forest on the show. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Stephanie's like, I recognize that tree. You used that tree on the other set.
Did you move that tree? I think you did. No, just kidding. So this was pretty crazy though, to go and like search in the park, and then they meet, and nothing is ever random on this show. They meet the volunteers from a church organization who are like, we're always here, but are they always there? Because
who knows? Now they are.
Maybe they feel like they're always there, but they weren't certainly all there that one day that they all needed to be.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, I wonder what when they were searching in the park, I know they were looking for like a witness or someone who could say that Allie was there, but it just felt like searching like for a needle and
Haystack.
Yeah.
It honestly reminded me of being like a little kid at a park and like picking up random trash and thinking it was like treasure. Like, where did this come from? I just found a clue.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to think about, for sure. I was just like, this seems a little odd, and it felt like Spencer had like a relatively big role, but Emily was just like her sidekick this episode. It was really strange because that's not normally Emily's role on the show.
Except that later, she was like, let me take the lead. You're intimidating.
Yep.
Yeah. I did appreciate that.
Yeah.
Again, the self-awareness of Pretty Little Liars can never go unnoticed. Speaking of self-awareness, I wanted to call this out in case someone didn't notice. Sarah Shepard.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes, played a news analyst tonight on the show, and so a big, like, I feel like that's pretty self-aware to have
That's
your
so cool.
have your little author. It's like a totally like a little love for the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Dug it.
Yeah, it was
I
amazing.
wonder if she's like, I can't believe the direction this show has gone.
Yeah, right?
I know, because her books are like, they're amazing,
Yeah.
but it's definitely a little calmer than what
Yeah.
the show has become. The show is off the charts crazy
I mean,
now.
5 seasons in, though, you got to take it to another level.
Yeah.
True. I'm still standing by, though, that they're going to give Allie, like, a twin or sibling. I still think it's going to happen. Because they introduced that forever ago with her mom, like, seeing them
Ashley
as twins.
seeing the twins.
Yeah, so I still think that's going to come back. I think that will play
But
in.
Ashley saw it, so maybe it's got something to do with Hannah.
They're sisters.
Maybe. Stop. Too much. Mind blown.
I mean, they were kind of teasing at something between Hannah and Allie earlier in the season, so.
Huh.
And
That'd
they
be
do
interesting.
look a lot alike.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, yeah.
Interesting. Stop. Okay, well, I'm going to ponder on that.
Yeah.
I know, I was like, you maybe have to ponder till next week.
Yeah, right. I feel like that was like silence crept over all of us.
We were like, Hannah,
is that really possible?
come to a conclusion. No.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen a lot. Silence on this panel
No.
is pretty unusual. I feel like we talk quite
Yeah.
a bit. Like, so to get us to
True statement.
really ponder it is pretty crazy.
Sorry, guys. I just figured that out last time I was watching. I was like,
Interesting.
I don't know how I feel about that, but anyways.
But what did you think about Arya's mom making an appearance?
She hasn't
to
been
find-
a long time.
Right?
It was so good to see
since
her.
I've been watching season 3, I was like, oh, right. I just saw her because she's in season 3, and then I was like, wait, she's been here in a while.
Yeah, right. I missed her.
I forgot that she was a teacher.
Right? When she
Yeah.
popped up, I was like, oh my God, I forgot I haven't seen you.
Yeah.
Like we're friends. We haven't seen you forever.
We are friends.
We are. We're besties.
Stop.
But what did you think about her trying to protect her? It felt like she was protecting not her daughter, but like
Yeah.
this
But I feel
other
like
person.
there is some sort of like confidentiality with like students and
Like
stuff like that. As a
students
Still,
and
if
teachers,
it's-
but like it's a murder
It's
trial.
a murder
Sure.
trial that your daughter's
talk-
now going to be in trouble for. At some point, you gotta like.
She's talking
Granted.
about like drugs.
I
Like,
was gonna say,
it's
but
serious,
granted,
but, like
Chica couldn't help
Yeah.
at all. Like they're
Yeah.
gonna take her seriously when her like
Yeah.
state of mind was altered. So it's not. It honestly wouldn't have made a difference anyways to the trial or not.
No, but I did think it was crazy her like explanation of why she like wouldn't remember. It was
Oh my God. I like wrote down a bunch of the quotes that they said about her being high because I thought it was so funny. Like all of the things that they said revolving around this girl taking
we have a whole
drugs.
conversation about this. in the other
She
room.
saw like fingers on one hand, NPR through her cavity fillings, high as a kite, past the cranberries. Like all coming from adults was hilarious to me. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, too cool for school, clearly. But I just thought that was like one of those crazier things that I was just like, oh, this is so weird. And I just wanted her to be in Arya's corner finally. And you saw her be like, you can't be friends with Allie anymore. She really didn't feel like the supportive mom that I feel like she's always been on this show. I mean, minus her relationship with Ezra, but like, in general.
But even in that, she came around really quick.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she tends to be there for Arya, and this felt like a kind of 180 from her normal character. It was really strange to me.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with her.
I wonder if we'll kind of find out next. I wonder if, I mean, it seems weird to find out next week, like where she's been this whole time and maybe why
she's been grading those papers. So
she's changed
big stack.
But
also, do you think we're going to get a solution next week? This jumps a little into predictions, but do you think we're going to get a prediction or we're going to get any information about Hannah's mother and what's going on with her and with a pastor and all of that? I feel like that's like a storyline that just dropped off this week for me.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many of those like minor storylines that they are just not going to be able to fit in next week's episode.
And they come like back and in and out. So maybe we'll see him like season
maybe
6
next
episode
season.
1.
And what about Leslie being back on the show and being on trial? Like opening with that after we had all been waiting for her to come back.
I think I called that she was coming back. Yeah.
You absolutely did. And she just came back to basically throw everybody under the bus. And why is she living with Mona's grandparents? I'm like, why is she living? When they said that, I was like, why? 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 What is her connection to their family that they would have to take her in?
I do wonder, she made me think, like, what about the multi-generational connections? Like, is it a cousin of her? Like, is there some other relationship that we're not aware of with that family? Like, why did she move in with them, or were her parents friends with like, I just didn't understand how she just like randomly moved into this situation. But we did get tweets this week about, again, that multi-generational and are there adults involved in this
does everybody even trust that this Leslie chick even knows Mona though? Like, part of me is like, maybe her and Mona aren't friends at all.
Yeah, maybe she's like another person that just
who's made up this entire story.
She like saw it in the news and she just
sketchy.
Or she's like hired by A
Creepy.
like go in and
it is really crazy. Yeah, to think about.
So many things to think about.
No, I mean, I think that the show now, like, with this big A reveal that they've been promoting literally all season, like, there is a lot where you can go back and find these little clues, and I feel like that's all I've been trying to do, and look at all of your tweets and see what you're all thinking, too, because there's obviously things we miss as the four of us, and we come in directly after seeing the show, so, like, it's always nice to hear from you guys, so definitely continue to do that. Go on YouTube, iTunes, all of it. You can tweet at us, rate, comment, let us know what you're thinking. We love hearing from you. The show is so much fun to talk about. So many theories, so little time.
I could do 2 shows on this show, like after every episode. I have so much to say.
I mean, it's crazy how much and how many notes I take for this show, or like double what I take for any other of my shows here.
It's like the only show I do take notes for. It really is. It like gives me
like
anxiety.
Making diagrams.
Well, it started giving me anxiety, and I'm like, okay, 1, 2, okay, nobody's calling me out. Nobody's calling me out.
Before we jump into news and gossip, I do want to talk about the A little moment with the the black glove at the end of the episode with the dolls, and they're all going to jail, and then I think you see
it was a really good song, and someone tweeted us about that, and it was a really good song.
Yeah, and Allie's like going overboard. It looks like overboard, or like they were like closing.
Was that Allie? She had black hair.
Maybe it was Mona then? Was that Mona?
But Mona's not in a red or an orange jumpsuit.
I think it had to be Emily or Spencer.
I thought it was
And then Hannah was like up in the little tower thinger.
I think they were like closing them into the prison.
Okay, but I don't understand why it was only 2 of them.
No, there were.
I know, but like actually being closed in.
Maybe the rest of them are getting off.
They just didn't have enough time. They needed to.
Yeah.
The rest are going in. They're just going. Maybe they're going to a different prison.
Oh.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe they're.
Not enough
maybe
room
they
at
are under 17 and they're going.
That's
I
true.
don't know. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Maybe we're thinking. Maybe they're going to the juvenile correction facility.
Someone's got to.
And let's all hope now.
Just like tell me someone's going to juvie, or give me a reason why someone's not, because I don't believe that they're all 18.
No, I mean.
Someone's got to be born in June, July.
I think that is one of those real life concerns, and it's not probably a Rosewood concern. In all honesty,
But I'm concerned.
they want, like, for storytelling purposes, I like that I'm explaining this.
Yeah.
I feel like for storytelling purposes, they probably want all these girls in the same
know.
location. So, because otherwise, are you gonna have notes, or like, are they gonna try to like text each other? How are they communicating amongst the girls? Having them all together makes for just a more interesting
I'm gonna
stories.
need a better explanation, ABC Family.
Yeah. I'm not.
I don't buy that.
Yeah. I just think that also, if you're going to continue this into season 6, then this is probably something that
they're not going to college anymore, so that's not very worried
I mean,
about.
Exactly. I mean, you're not gonna. Yeah. But I do think that you have to have the girls in somewhere where they can all communicate with each other.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're put into jail as an accessory to murder, you can pretty much kiss college goodbye.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about that, but I feel like that's it.
Your life is pretty mature.
I'm assuming you're correct on that. Are you ready for some news and gossip?
Yeah.
Yes.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So, Lucy Hale did an interview with Yahoo Beauty, and she revealed, like, the makeup tips that she's learned while being on the Pretty Little Liars set. And I loved that she says, I can cover a zit like it's nobody's business. And I was like, what a, like, great thing to learn on set.
Yeah,
like,
I need to learn these tips.
Yeah, I know, I was gonna say, and so relatable too, because she comments, I'm definitely the girl that goes to Sephora and spends way too much. I'm always buying things I'll never use. And I was like, that is me.
Yeah,
all of us.
Yeah,
I am always buying things that I always use, though. I go through makeup like that.
Yeah.
Really?
I go to Ulta and buy like everything. I'm like, I'm never gonna use any of this. I just have to go to Ulta just to get something. It's like an addiction.
Yeah, it is. It's a serious one.
And it's just like, I'll go for one item that I legitimately do need, and then it becomes a whole other thing. So I
Walk out with like a bright pink lipstick that you'll never, ever wear.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, oh, I'm glad Lucy Hale and I have the same pattern in life. And then Keegan Allen will appear on Young and Hungry, another big ABC Family show.
Nice.
Love that show. So much fun.
Who is he gonna be? Oh,
I know.
He's gonna be a new love interest.
I bet.
Yeah. Tyler, he's a hipster drummer and a love interest for the main character.
Yeah, interesting. Does that
For
mean
Gabby?
he's leaving?
Yeah, for Gabby. I know. I was like, I don't know if all the Pretty Little Liars fans watch Young and Hungry, but yes,
should. It's a
Gabby,
great show.
Yeah,
You
it is
should. We
adorable.
recap it starting next Wednesday.
yeah, it's phenomenal. It's such a fun show, and adorable and ABC Family style for sure. If you watch Baby Daddy or Melissa and Joey, I like that I'm promoting ABC Family right now. But
watch all the shows.
they're all so good, so you definitely should be watching them. But yeah, I'm excited to see him take on something a little lighter, because that show is funnier, I would say, and just a
like
lighter.
he's not gonna be killing anybody or anything.
Exactly. Like it's
Probably.
It's a silly it's a silly rom-com, always a good time.
Yeah.
And let's jump into predictions. And everyone's not jumping in quite at once. All right, here we go.
I feel like I always predict like throughout the show.
I know.
These are so hard because I never have any answers.
It's going like 100 different ways.
I know.
Okay, but I do have one prediction. When Hannah and Allie were with the lawyer and they passed a note back and forth, I predict that was done on purpose so the lawyer would get that, because it's got some kind of information on it that's going to get them out.
That's
Ooh, interesting.
I like that. That's a great prediction.
Yeah. It was. She wasn't even trying to hide it. She was like,
No. That's why the way that she gave it up and like it was just done like in a way that I felt like it was done on purpose almost.
Yeah. True statement. And they didn't, like, I felt like we needed to pause and read what that said.
I know.
Yeah. But there
When
were
we
so
didn't,
many
we
diagrams
kind
on
of
it.
missed an opportunity.
It was something about the Charles De Laurentiis thing.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and pause it when I rewatch.
Yeah.
I just want to know what the tux and the corsage was in relation to at the
yeah.
end with the gloves. And
So
them
what is it going to
falling
be
off.
next week? What
I don't
do
know,
you
because they
think?
didn't show anything in the preview with like any sort of ball or dress up kind of thing, but they showed that corsage and that tux, and I was like, well, okay, then it's definitely, there's a guy who's A.
Yeah.
So we know that, but there's also a female because they have the corsage, but that's,
Or
those are dumb
or that's for
predictions.
their girlfriend.
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
think
Oh,
that
shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ezra and Arya, I wouldn't have said this a week ago, but I think they're on a crash course to get back together.
Totally.
Like I feel like it could even happen in the finale next week. Like they are.
Oh, dang, really?
Yeah, I think they're on a fast forward because he tried to protect her brother and saved her brother once he was attacked. Like I think that will bring Ezra and Arya closer than ever.
Yeah, I mean, she wanted to go to college single, and now she's going to jail, so she doesn't need to go to jail single.
I think that Ezra's always been there for her, and you'll see him come back, even though she's in jail, and be there for her. So that's my prediction, and also just something that I really want. So, good times. But next week, the finale of Pretty Little Liars and our special live from the YouTube space LA. Definitely be sure to watch. We're having so many people from the cast. It is going to air once again at 6 p.m. On the West Coast and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. So be sure to watch, tweet us your thoughts, questions, all of it this week. And we'll be back next week with the finale.
Yay! So excited.
And you can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger.
You can find me on Twitter at Kristin Strange and on Instagram at Kristin Aubrey Strange.
Y'all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TheHotShotDude.
And you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Heather Joy Smith.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.